All right, good morning, everybody. Jen, are you ready?
I'm here.
All right, let's start. Good morning. How have you been?
Pretty good. Trying to maintain sane.
I
I'm not a homebody at
know
all.
you're not a homebody and you're different than me. Like for me, I am missing actually going to the office. You know what I mean? Like I love being in an office setting. You're just out and about from presentation to presentation, from office to office, and then at nighttime you go to all these networking events, right? Like there's people who have FOMO, like fear of missing out, and I have like fear of showing up. Like I don't do the whole
I'm
networking
super,
thing.
super FOMO. That's the only good thing, that I'm not missing out on anything because nobody's doing anything. But I miss people, like in person. Like, like hi, and visiting people. And I don't know, I'm a people person. I talk to anybody.
Yeah. Now everybody right now is on mute, but I want to do this, conversation, and I want to do it very open forum. So whenever somebody has anything to say, just unmute yourselves and join in on the conversation, chime in your thoughts. Um, and let's go from there. I know that I've been hunting you down, Jen, since last week. Like, hey, let's do this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about whatever's going on. And you have a lot of things to say, like always.
Like always, huh? I know I talk a lot. Yeah, I've kind of stayed away from other talk. I know everybody's talking about virtual buyers and all this stuff, but honestly, I find it funny because a virtual buyer is not new. It's been around for a long time, and so has virtual open houses and all that stuff has been around. Like, I work remote. I've always worked remote. Like, people laugh at me because I don't own a laptop. I work from my phone and my iPad, which
I
is
know.
just a speakerphone.
I remember like late last year, you came over to my house to work from my house, and you were on your phone, your laptop, like you were just on a roll there. Like you were just taking care of business without having to be in a business setting.
Yeah, I do everything from my phone. I fill out forms. I do signatures. Your phone is very powerful. I don't need my phone is my office, which is good and bad because but it's good because I can do anything from anywhere, but it's bad because you can't really escape it. So even when I'm on vacation, I'm in my office.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think there has been a lot of talk about virtual buyers, virtual open houses. I think this is something that's been around. For God's sakes, everybody's always been talking about iBuyer, Zillow, and the iBuyer. Well, what do you think an iBuyer is? It's
It's
a
working
virtual buyer,
remotely.
basically.
Yeah.
And now people are like, oh, we have to work remote. You guys are realtors. You have to work remote regardless. So there shouldn't be much of a shell shock to everybody that, oh my God, we have to be remote. Now, for instance, my operations team, that the girls in my office, the processors, they're having to work virtual, and they're going through like shocks. Like, how do you do this? You work so much more when you
Because
work
they
at
were used
home.
to working in an office.
Exactly. They're used to
And
working in an office.
well, the problem, and I've always said this, when I get a brand new agent, I always say they have the employee mentality, right? Like they're used to clocking in, clocking out, and they know how much money they're gonna make, but the amount of hours they put into it. So your processors and the girls are just used to being in the office. They have that mentality of like, all right, I'm gonna go to the office, I'm gonna clock in, I'm gonna clock out, and they don't realize that working from home gets you to do so much more work.
Yeah, because you can't escape.
You can't escape. And there's nothing
Like,
else to do.
I have admin days. I call them admin days, which are the days that I work in front of like well, not a computer, my iPad. But that's my computer, in front of my computer, and that's when I do like my administrative stuff. I confirm appointments, confirm trainings, make my calls, plan the following week and 2 weeks ahead. And I usually have sometimes maybe 1.5 admin days, and the rest of the time I'm in the streets, like driving around, visiting offices, doing all that stuff. But those admin days that I'm working in my house, I think I do 3 days in one day because I work straight from like 9 a.m. to like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning because you just don't get up. You get up to shower, to eat, and that's about it because you're
No,
home.
no, I have to ask you, are you having issues like me when it comes to marketing? Because I'm such a planner. Like everybody knows I am very OCD. I plan my things like a month ahead, all my content, my theme, my email campaigns, all that is planned. And since this began, I'm like, shit, I can't plan for tomorrow because I don't know what tomorrow is gonna be. Like I don't know if they're gonna lift the ban tomorrow, and then I'm gonna have all this content that makes no sense. Or
Yeah,
you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
not,
Like
I mean, I don't do my own social media. I have somebody that does it for me, but I literally just got off the phone with him this morning because it's like we haven't been able to plan anything because you got to change with the times. You got to do what's relevant because you have to stay relevant in the market.
that's
So
how
you
I
have to do
feel.
what's relevant and what's going on, but so many things are going on differently on a day-to-day basis. It's kind of hard to plan ahead. So you're kind of living like day by day right now. I think they're saying, I know it's through April 30th. I'm thinking it's probably going to be a little longer
Yeah.
from what we see in the other countries. And we just got to stay relevant and be productive because I think there's a huge difference between staying busy and being productive.
Oh,
And
here comes Jen, because this is what she had to tell everybody today. Talk to me
because
about
I
this
work
staying
from,
busy versus productive.
yes, there's a huge, huge difference. And I know because sometimes I'm really busy and I'm not productive. So if there's a huge difference, and it takes, listen, I tell people all the time to be self-employed and to work, aka from home or remote, or like realtors do that they're all over the place too. It takes a lot of discipline because it's very easy to be at home and let me just throw a load of laundry and wash the dishes and make dinner for everyone now. So you have to be really disciplined when you work from home. I've been doing it for many, many, many years. So I know from this time to this time, I'm working. Like I don't care how many dishes are in the sink. I don't care if there's a million things to wash. I'm working. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, I prefer to work than do domesticated stuff. I don't like washing clothes or doing the dishes. So maybe that's why it's easy to avoid those things. Even though I get anxiety if there's like a mess. And I can't think straight. But yeah, you have to, I think more than anything, you have to stay productive more than busy. We
All
do
right, so
have to sharpen our skills and we do have to do trainings. And these masterminds are great because everybody gets to exchange information. But at the end of the day, what else are you doing besides Zooming?
that's
You
what I
know?
was gonna say to you. Like you're saying, because what I find myself lately, right? And I've been talking to, like Willie and different friends from the industry, and I'm like, man, I find myself on Zooms half of the day.
Yeah, you're what I call a Zoomer.
A Zoomer. And then the rest of the day, I'm like, all right, let me get my work done. But my work that I wanted to do only has X amount of time because I've been on Zoom for half the day.
And let me tell you, it's time consuming because I'm preparing a training now that I'm planning to give next week on Zoom. And I've always participated in Zoom calls and Zoom trainings for like the past 2 years. But actually hosting one, I'm a little rusty. So I did like a practice one the other day because I had to fix the slides and all that stuff. And let me tell you, with the phone ringing and the Zoom, it was like a 30-minute practice Zoom took me like an hour because of the calls. Like I'm still busy because remember I do closings. So we're still closing because we're closing stuff from like 30 days, 40 days before, you know what I mean? So we're still busy as a title company as far as closings, and we are getting orders. We are getting a lot of refis, very little purchases, and yes, we are getting cancellations, which I knew that was coming, the little wave of cancellations.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. Imagine I was around for the 2008 crash. So I tell people all the time, I think I have PTSD from the crash of 2008. And now I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? I'm happy that I don't think it's gonna happen what happened back in 2008, but we are heading into like a gloomy time, I think. I don't mean to be negative. I'm a very positive
I was
person, as
about
you
to
know.
ask you, do you think you're being negative because
No,
we're
I
in
think I'm being real.
2008
I'm
days?
being a realist. There's a difference because back in 2008, when the market started to crash, I was in denial for like a long time. For those of you who don't know or don't know me personally, I've been in the business for over 20 years, and I owned my own mortgage company back during the boom. I was a lender. And when the crash started to happen in the beginning, I mean, everybody knew the market was going to change, but nobody knew the magnitude of the collapse that was going to happen. Yeah, the winds were changing, market was going to change, blah, blah, blah. Oh, let me just close down my warehouse line and just go down to a broker and stay and survive. Oh, let me downgrade my car from an Audi to a BMW 3 Series because that's a downgrade. Like super denial. Well, I had to file bankruptcy. I had like 7 foreclosures in my bankruptcy because I was flipping houses at the time too. And you know, if everything would have gone according to my plan, I would have been retired right now and maybe giving classes on how to do it. But like, so I think like I feel like I'm prepared this time, even though I don't think there's going to be a housing crash like
How
in
do you think that
2000,
you
not even
prepared? Like,
close.
how do you think that, um, yeah, what steps have you taken for you to think right now, you know what, I am preparing in case there is a market crash?
Well, I've been taking steps for years. Like I went in over my head back in the day. I live very moderately. I make good money. But you see, I don't live a lavish lifestyle. I don't really have a lot of debt. I have money in the bank. I've been a little smarter this time, but you live and you learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I think that we're gonna experience a little bit of bumpy roads. I don't think it's gonna be like a housing crash, at least not right now. I think if we get out of this soon enough, the the market's gonna bounce back, and I think we're gonna be like even better than ever. Um, but obviously, if this lasts long term, like a year, it's common sense. It's gonna affect the market if it lasts 8 months, a year, because I mean, without jobs, people can't buy houses. Without jobs, people can't pay mortgages. Here comes the foreclosures, short sales. I did short sales for many, many years. I used to process them. I still have my processing company and I still do short sales, but obviously not in the magnitude that I did back then. Back then, pretty much everything was short sales. Um, but I think if we're in this too long, it's really bad, which is why I've been staying home.
Yeah. Yeah.
As hard as it is for me to stay home, I stay home. But I am productive. I mean, it's not like I don't leave my house. I'm not gonna lie. I do get in my car and drive around. I go through car washes a lot. My car is super clean. But I think I just think as a realtor, as a lender, as a title person, anybody in real estate right now, you just gotta like stay relevant. Like everybody's saying, obviously, you need to stay productive, not busy. You can
Yeah.
Zoom call, but don't Zoom all day. You know, were you farming? Are you farming? Maybe you should start farming. Get to know your farm area, get in your car, drive around, talk to business owners. They're still doing curbside pickups. See how they're doing, if they need anything. You never know. Maybe after this, they might have to downgrade, downsize, and get a new lease. Or maybe they have to sell their commercial property, and who they're going to call, the person who went and visited them, and see if they needed anything. You can still get in your car and drive around. I was looking for a duplex and triplex right before all this happened. And what do you think I've been doing? I've been going in the neighborhoods, driving around, looking still at the neighborhood, still looking at property from afar, studying, because if this gets lifted, you need to be ready to pull the trigger. And I've been telling realtors that too. Obviously, you don't want to push a buyer into buying right now because it's not a good time, seriously, because everybody's trying to see what's going on. But there are some people that do need to buy. So the people who need to buy are still going to buy. And the people who want to buy are still going to want to buy. They're maybe just holding to see what's going on. It doesn't mean you have to stop looking, because the way I see it is, let's say this ends in June and everything goes back. Obviously, I think it's going to take a little bit. If let's say they lift everything up in April, May, it's going to take a little while for things to get back to normal.
Yeah,
People are not going to get, businesses are not going to hire everybody all at once. You know, they have to bring it back slowly. But you know what? Be ready. You were ready to buy. You have the money in the bank. You're pre-approved. Let's get ready to buy. If this gets lifted and everything goes, it starts getting back to normal, you know, you're not going to be up against all these buyers. You're going to get more market share. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to go up against 3 or 4 contracts or offers. You know, be ready. Have your buyer ready. Okay, look, you were looking over here. You were looking over there. This is what's new. And that way they can make a decision quicker. You got to make sure that you're letting them know what's going on in the neighborhood. Even if it means getting your car, take a drive. I take drives all the time.
I continue to tell all the agents, one, they should still be prospecting. They should still be calling their database. Should they be aggressive and go for the close? Absolutely not. They should start the call with, hey, how are you doing? How is this affecting you?
Definitely.
And just remind them that they're in real estate. If you ever need anything, I'm here. Keep something, warm up something during this time so that when everything gets lifted, they have something in the pipeline. Because as a realtor, you guys know that whatever you guys do today you might not see the fruit of it for 3 months. So if everybody right now is on Zooms all day long and not being, not prospecting, not farming, not being in touch with your database, in 3 months, you guys are going to be so hungry.
Like I've always said, real estate is simple. It's just not easy because you have to do things you don't want to do. Everybody hates the phone. The people don't like, and I get it. Listen, there's days, don't get me wrong, I call a lot of people all the time, but there's days, I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel like talking to anybody, or I'm not feeling that, that like, you have to be like kind of in a good mood kind of thing. But you know what, do a warm up, you know what I mean? Don't maybe call your hot leads, call your cold leads. But let me tell you, people right now are being so nice.
Yes. And receptive.
And not only that, they're bored. They're actually picking up the phone and they're actually having conversations with you. Because I might not do real estate, so my clients aren't buyers, but my clients are you realtors. And let me tell you, half the time when I call you guys, nobody picks up the phone because ain't nobody want to talk to no title girl.
Tell me.
So you guys aren't picking up the phone.
Does
You'd be
not
surprised
pick up the
how many realtors are picking up the phone and how are you, Jen? How have you been? I'm like, oh my God, you're talking to me. Yay. And I'm actually getting feedback. So I'm like, how have you been? It's been so long. And then people actually have time to have conversations. I mean, I think this, when we get out of this, it's going to humble a lot of people. Yes. And we're going to appreciate a lot of things that we weren't appreciating before. Like little things like, hey, going to the grocery store. Which after
high-fiving your friend.
Avoiding going to the grocery store. And boy, do I miss my Instacart. I gotta wait like 5 days for Instacart. I can't, like those are the little things I miss right now.
It's funny because when I first
out there and talking to people and visiting people and driving around and my car sometimes doesn't move for 5 days.
Well, when this first thing, when that Friday came around and they were like, you know what, come Monday, there's no more schools. I told all the realtors that weekend, I'm like, this is a weekend to go door knocking in your neighborhood and get to know everybody who's in your neighborhood and let them know, hey, I'm your neighbor. And if you need anything, this is my phone number, and start a chat with your neighborhood and become that, specialist.
But using social distance, right?
Well, I said it that first weekend, right? When nobody was really taking this thing serious, when everybody's like, okay, I'll still go to the beach this weekend, you know what I mean? And I mean, now somebody comes and knock on my door, I'm not opening. Like, what you want?
Yeah, but there's different things you can do. You can make little things and even on people's doorsteps with your card. Yeah. There's a lot of things that you can do to be productive. You know what I mean? They're not all going to be fun, obviously. But I mean, you have to basically plant the seeds. You need to start planting seeds. You plant the seeds, you water, it will grow. Like, it's simple. It's simple. It's just not easy because ain't nobody want to do it. And I get it. Not everybody likes talking on the phone and I understand, but you got to understand also that when you're backed up into a corner, either you fight back or you die.
Correct.
So Are you going to be a realtor or you're not going to be a realtor? What's your plan B? You know what I mean? You have to kind of pivot. Like I wrote that article last week, and I sent it out in a newsletter. It's about you got to pivot your business. There's no such thing as a bad market. There's a changing market.
Yeah.
And you have to pivot with the market and change with the market. You know that saying how they say, don't change the goal, change the plan. Basically, it's the same thing. Don't change the goal, change the plan. Pivot. You know what might not work in January, now you have to change it and do something else now in April because of the times. You got to change with the market. You know, oh, they weren't lending conventional FHA. Okay, go private mortgage, like what they did back in the day. Like you have to kind of figure out how to move with the market. You know, listen, a lot of people in the crash in 2008 made a ton of money. A lot of people lost everything. I was one of the ones that lost everything.
I don't know
I
if
made it back and I survived.
It's on the line. I don't see him here, but Christopher Tello, perfect example. He became the REO king. Now
Yep.
he owns 4 Keller Williams.
And yeah, Chris, I know him personally. Yes, him and his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of pivoting. You know, people went from regular sales to REOs to short sales. I went into short sales. I left lending completely. I stopped doing mortgages, and I went into short sales and title.
Let me ask you a question right now. How are you pivoting right now? What are you doing differently? You know, how are you doing the pivot as a title girl?
Well, in title, imagine we depend on contracts and refis. Right now, we're doing good with the refi market, and the closings are there. But we're implementing certain things now. We're looking into other things to do remote. We are doing remote online notaries. We're changing. We're changing with the times at the moment, because I know everybody wants remote, and everybody's thinking, oh, this is going to change the world completely, and we're all going to be robots, and everything's going to be remote, and I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen.
At the end of the day, you still want the human touch. Let me tell you, we've done closings, and we're doing closings at people's houses. We're doing closings on top of cars.
Yeah.
Okay? It's crazy because people don't want to let you in the house, which is fine. I completely understand. But imagine your realtor's not there. This is when you're buying your home, it's a moment. And let's be serious. Let's be honest here. When you're buying, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, you're nervous. It's a huge purchase. You're not buying a pair of shoes. And you have a relationship with your realtor. There's nothing like your realtor there holding your hand, cheering you on, telling you congratulations. It's kind of sad to see that. And I don't think that's going to change. I think we're still going to need the human touch. And this is something that they've been talking about since last year, since everybody was freaking out about iBuyers and Zillow and this and that. And oh my God, the realtors are going to be irrelevant. Well, here's to show you that they think we're going to be irrelevant, but I don't think we are, because at the end of the day, you need that human touch. Are people buying houses without seeing them in person? Yes, they are. I think it's a little gutsy, but not everybody's like that. Not everybody's going to be that brave to buy a house through a virtual tour.
But I would say, like, narrow down the choices with virtual showings and only go and show them, you know, that narrowed down selection, that the last 2 or 3 that they're like, you know what, I really need to see this one in person. But take all precautions and measures before you go and show.
No, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, people are always going to need a place to live, whether it's a rental or a purchase. That's never going to change. So realtors are going to be relevant no matter what. You know, I love this industry. Like, I've been doing this since I was like 17. This is, at the end of the day, like I told everybody, this is it for me, because this is all I know.
Yeah.
I've been doing this since 17. Like, this is it. Like, either I do real estate, mortgage, title, but I'm in real estate. And that's not going to change. Trust me, I tried to leave at one point. And I got out of the market for like 2-3 years, and somebody came back looking for me, and they dragged me back into title. And here I am. So there's no escaping for me. It is what it is. So you need to make a decision. If this is what you're going to do for the rest of your life, this is your career, then figure out a way to do it. Nothing is impossible. Some people, I can tell you this much, might not survive this. Some people, some realtors might leave the business and do something else, which will gain more market share for the rest of the people.
Well, I do
We do
say
have a lot
that
of realtors.
right now we have
but
3 types of realtors. We have that realtor that is an entire panic and already looking for something else to do. Then we
Yeah.
have that realtor that is like vacation mode, like, oh, I'm finally home with my family. I haven't done this in 5 years, you know?
Yeah, hopefully they have a lot of money saved.
Yeah, well, they're like on that whole vacation mode. Like, I only do this every Saturday and Sunday, and for them it's like Saturday and Sunday, and then they will eventually start to panic, right? And then you have that realtor that is like fully taking advantage of everything that's going on, and it's just like on their game, you know, like they're still.
And that's a smart realtor right there.
Yeah.
Because you know, there's memes going around like, oh, I don't know if you've seen it. The meme that says, oh, people are panicking because they're not getting paid. Yeah. And then there's like realtors laughing, ha ha, we can go 2-3 months without getting paid because we all work on commission, you know. And the thing with us, because I myself, I'm entitled, but I work, my paycheck is commission.
Yeah.
I'm commission based, so I know what it is. I've always been commission. If they give me a choice, which they have, salary or commission, I will always take the commission over the salary. But I've been on commission for so many years, but you make more money on commission. But you can see in this industry, you see, like, for instance, I know already, yeah, I'm good right now because I have closings coming in and I have lots of closings happening. And the month, March was great. You saw I disappeared. I was MIA the last week of March because I was dealing with closings, accommodating my clients, my realtors, letting them know everything was okay. I did a lot of calls that week.
I had to make sure you were working hard in March because you and I were supposed to take a trip in April.
Yeah, and that was canceled. That's so disappointing. I had to cancel 2 trips. Yeah. So that sucked. But I can foresee what my paycheck is going to look like in a month, 2 months from now, just by what's coming in. I'm lucky enough and blessed enough that I still have work coming in, but obviously not to the magnitude that I'm used to. And that does, I'm not going to lie, it does, like I said, I do suffer from PTSD from 2008. So I do worry, and I don't show the stress on the outside, but my body feels it on the inside. I remember I told you I can't wear makeup because
I swear to God, I was gonna touch up that point. Like, no, Jen, we do.
So guys, I haven't been able to wear makeup.
You're not even wearing makeup
now. And I'm dying because I'm not a spring chicken. So imagine no makeup, and it actually started to flare up this week. I finally went away, and I started to kind of incorporate. I got this dry thing in the corner of my eyes, and my eyes start to itch, which is not a good time to be touching your face. And my eyes are itchy, and it starts to burn. Like, you have no idea. Like, and then my eyes start to tear, and it goes to the corner, and it burns. And I look like I have more wrinkles than what I really do because it's dry. And the dermatologist says it's an allergic reaction. I disagree because I don't think doctors know everything. But I disagree because she didn't get to see it because by the time I got the appointment, it was already gone. It wasn't flared up anymore. But I think it's caused by stress because it's now all of a sudden it's flaring up again. It's itchy again. It burns again. And even though I'm not showing the stress on the outside, my body's feeling it on the inside because I'm a masochist and I stress out.
I think if you're in the real estate industry and you're not a masochist, you don't survive this. Like, you have to be a
it's just like, if people are like, oh, but now you're not, you know, because everybody's used to seeing me end of the month going crazy. My phone doesn't stop ringing. I'm putting out fires, resolving people's issues, you know, like an octopus doing all these crazy things. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I've had friends that tell me, I think you feed off that. For you, it drives you that intensity, that stress, that solving problems, 3 and 4 things at a time. Yes. It's stressful, but when I don't have it, I think I stress more. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
Like your life is taking a shift when you don't have it.
Yeah, doctors will always tell you, because I remember I used to do mortgages during the boom when I was pregnant. And the doctor would tell me, you have to be careful with stress. And I'm like, well, I'm in mortgages. I I own a mortgage company. I'm stressed all the time. Then he used to tell me, well, there's good stress and there's bad stress. There's a stress, everyday stress that one is used to, which is your everyday work stress. And then there's a stress that you're not used to. And I think that's the stress that I'm feeling right now. And that's why my eyes are getting flared up and I'm getting that reaction. I'm stressing because I'm not stressing. So I am worried because I am foreseeing, okay, I mean, I have money in the bank. I can pay my bills. I paid all my bills this month. You know what I mean? I'm very lucky. But like, I try to see ahead. Like we all should, because we work on commission. We know we're as good as our last closing. And I know a lot of realtors live check to check and they count on that. And it's crazy because let me tell you, I work with some good realtors but I work with a lot of new realtors too. And I see them, they're doing so well, they're starting. My fear is that then, it's like, wah, wah, wah. They want to roll and then all of a sudden you get hit by a truck and the motivation goes away. So I think you have to stay motivated and you do have to surround yourself. You need to surround yourself and learn from people who have been through certain things. Like I always tell, like I have a saying, don't tell me you can teach me to make $1 million if you haven't made $1 million.
Yes.
That's the way I see it. Don't try to coach me if you haven't done it yourself. That's the way I feel it. So right now is a good time to reach out and talk to people who have been through it. Even me, that I have been through it. I'm reaching, like last week, I called a bunch of lenders that I know, asking them, hey, what's going on with the secondary market, with this, with that. I know I did mortgage for many years, so I know the lingo. And, I've been watching the stock market, which I'm not going to lie, I don't understand it 100%, but I've been watching the treasury, the 10-year treasury. I'm trying to I'm reading more than what I'm used to reading, but you have to also be careful when you're reading things that you're reading the right things. Because I've noticed there's a lot of bullshit out there, excuse the French, but there's a lot of fake news and bullshit and people telling you what they want you to believe. So you got to go through statistics. I've been doing a lot of history, how they say history repeats itself. Go back. See what happened in 2008. Educate yourself. See what other people did back then. How did they survive? How did Chris Tello go from real estate in the crash to now huge Keller? Like, you need to learn from those people. You know what I mean? They're the ones that lived through it. They're the ones that are going to tell you what they did. And let me tell you, it was bad in 2008, like bad.
And people are willing to tell you all their secrets because they know that only 2% will do it.
Yeah, most of the time you can take a horse to water, but it doesn't mean they're going to drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think that we do have to stay positive. And another thing I've been worried about, because let me tell you, this being in the house thing, I don't suffer from depression or anything, but I can see on Sunday, I'm not even going to lie, I literally stayed in my pajamas all day, showered, and went and put on different pair of pajamas.
Well, I can guarantee that right now there's plenty of people on this call that are on their pajamas still.
Okay, so this is funny. I was just telling you this. I was just telling you this morning. Am I the only one? Okay, so I love clothes and I love to get dressed, and that's one thing I miss. I miss getting dressed and putting on a cute outfit to go do it. I'm a mood dresser, so for me to sell, I always tell people, for me to sell and to sell good, I have to feel good, and for me to feel good, I gotta look good. And if I don't like what I'm wearing, then I change. You have to see my room every morning when I have to change, when I have to get dressed to leave my house. It's like a tornado went in there because I'm a mood dresser. So if I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to wear it. So imagine now we're home. So yeah, I don't get dressed like if I'm going to work. But I do put on like cute little maxi dresses and, cute little,
and you do your hair,
but I just can't wear makeup. So
no,
that sucks.
Anyone have any questions? Anything you guys want to chime in? Anything, unmute yourselves, talk to us. How are you feeling the difference of what's going on? And I know that this was not your normal mastermind of like, how to work and the strategies and, how to survive this, but I think this is a talk that we all have in our brain that we haven't had out loud. So it's
yeah, nobody wants to talk about the elephant in the room.
Yes, except Jennifer. But unmute yourselves. Talk to
No
us.
questions, no nothing. Anybody wants to put in their 2 cents? Come on in.
Yeah, tell Jen she's just being negative. Anything.
Go ahead. I'm not going to take it personal, I promise.
Talk to us.
No one?
No one really?
Or no one has any stories?
Hi, this is Zainab, and I'll talk to you because I know what it feels like to be there asking, hey, talk to me, and nobody responds. So, so here's my 2 cents. Here's what I keep telling myself, and I keep telling everyone who's commission based the same thing. I truly believe with all my heart that we are all going to hit our production goals. We are just going to do it in a shorter period of time. And that's the only truth that I will believe in. And it's a great opportunity for all of us to set the groundwork to be doing that, whether that's working on our personal development, whether that's cleaning our homes and organizing our CRMs, everything. It all ties in together, right? We're beings that consist of more than our businesses. So whether it's strengthening our family relationships with our friends, building new networks. I've made new friends during this time because I just have. I mean, I've just been reaching out to brokers around planet Earth, and it's a good time for us to connect and to see if our values are aligned and we're fit to work with one another.
Because people are being nicer, right?
Yeah, we have time. I mean, we just have time. It's not even about being nicer. It's just that it's the first time in my life that I don't have clients calling me with all their wheeling, sometimes even pathetic things that take up half my day. I mean, guys, I was able to update my Mac from OS something, which was like 2014, all the way up to Catalina yesterday, just because I had the time, a luxury of time to sit with Apple and do that on the phone. I don't usually have that time.
Let me tell you, kudos to you, because I do have a Mac desktop and I've had it for 3 years and I've only used it 3 times. And yesterday, which is what I'm on right now, I was able to do that too. I updated it and it's running, and hallelujah, I have my office back again.
Exactly. So all of this is the groundwork for us to hit the ground running when we're ready. And we're going to have those buyers, we're going to have those deals waiting at the door because we're already working on those as well. So that's just me chiming in. So thank you for
thank you for chiming in.
And
we have Tatiana is asking about social media, how to motivate people to invest in real estate at this moment. First of all, real estate to me is never a bad investment. Correct. That's number one. People have to understand that real estate is not a bad investment. Is it a quick investment? No. Real estate was meant to be a long-term investment. I think of it as a savings account. It's something, that imagine, you know how many people bought years ago, and then the equity on the houses went to the floor during the 2008 crash, and then where are their equities right now? Where are the equities last year? They went up again. So you want to motivate people to invest in real estate? It's simple. Real estate is the best investment you'll ever make. It's better than a car. It's better than the stock market.
How would you create something to motivate them on social media right now?
I mean, right now, I would not be telling anybody, oh, you should buy right now at this very moment. No, but you should prepare to buy, because this is a perfect example. This is happening right now, right? If you own a home and you own multiple properties right now, and if you've had the house for, like, let's say the past 6 years, 7 years, guess what? There's equity in there. A, you have a roof over your head. B, if you ever need to pull out money to survive and you have equity, you can pull the money out of your house. People will tell you not to pull money out of your house and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I get it. But remember, when you want to do investments and do other things, it's better to use other people's money rather than yours. So if you can buy an investment property, like I always tell people, you want to buy an investment property? Why buy it all cash? Split it up, buy 2, buy 3. You know, at the end, if it's going to pay itself, who cares? And a lot of these do pay itself. Look, landlords now, I know, are suffering because of rentals, and the people who got into the, you know, I'm big on the whole Airbnb thing. A lot of people got into the whole Airbnb thing, and now people are like, oh my God, what are they going to do if they can't rent it? Bullshit, they can rent it. People always need a place to live. They might not do Airbnb right now. They might have to go now, depending on what happens, they might have to go into 6 months to a year leases and then come back to the whole Airbnb thing later, or do months to months. There's still people out there that need to move. It's
Now,
not like, oh my God, now they're not
compared to the
moving.
2008, right? Would you suggest that people should be selling right now?
Well, right now, your house is at a peak.
Yeah.
So right now your house is worth more than it's going to be worth, you know, because as we've seen the market has somewhat stabilized. It's not like a few years ago that houses were going up like a lot in a year. In 6 months, you buy a house at 200, in 6 months it was like 230, 240. You know what I mean? Pretty much they've stabilized. Remember, real estate is not meant to go up so much so fast. It's a long-term investment, so it's supposed to go up little by little. We've had circumstances that has pushed the market to have equities go higher, which that's awesome for people who have the houses and they have equity in their house. But real estate is never a bad investment. If you have the money to buy, it's always better to buy than to rent. Renting, you're throwing away your money.
Now,
obviously it depends where. It depends where, because for instance, I know Brickell right now is cheaper to rent than to buy because of the HOAs. But I mean, it depends. But Brickell, you know, is always going to have value. It's always going to go up. Like the beach, it's water. I mean, this is South Florida. We have things here that nobody has. And let me tell you, here's a tip for those of you who are on here. Where is all the coronavirus right now? It's in New York, right? You don't think that a lot of people that are living in New York right now are thinking, damn,
I should have moved to Miami.
I'm going to move to South Florida where it's sunny. Screw this. It's super. New York is, and trust me, I love New York, but New York has a lot of people. Yeah. They're suffering right now like crazy. You don't think a lot of those people are thinking of maybe moving out of New York? Maybe you should start doing some advertisements over there. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. There's always a way to make money. This is real estate. You just kind of pivot, like I said.
Pilar is raising her hand. Talk to us, Pilar.
Hey, Jennifer and Andreina, thank you for this,
Hi, Pilar.
Hey. Yes, I mean, it's also very nice to hear the experience of somebody who already passed the 2008 period. For the ones that for us is the first big thing, that it's happening. That is very nice to know the experience. And my question for you is, what do you think about the foreign investors? What is the feeling? What is the feeling that you have that it's going to happen? Probably they're going, because they're very focused in condos, but I think they're going to change probably and go to houses. What do you think?
What do you mean, investors?
The foreign.
Yes, the foreign.
Oh, the foreign investors?
Yeah.
I mean, again, it depends. I mean, do you want to live in a condo? Do you want to live in a house? I think the foreign investor is completely different from the investors here. The foreign investor, they come here and they want to obviously whatever they buy, they want to make money. So it's just a matter of what area is going to hold the value the longest for them.
But it's going to be the typical ones, because always the value is more in Brickell, and I mean.
Right, there's certain, at the end of the day, Miami is very versatile, so you can't compare, like, you know how you go to states and they're like, oh, Kentucky, the values are whatever. Here, Miami alone is very diversified. So Brickell is worth one thing, and Brickell is a completely different, for instance, Brickell is a completely different market than Doral.
Yes.
Doral is a completely different market than Homestead.
And the foreign investors that come in for Doral are entirely different investors than they go for Brickell.
Right, completely different investor, Doral from Brickell. So, I mean, wait, if you're gonna guide your foreign investors or foreign clients, you need to guide them as to, okay, first of all, what is their goal? What do they want to achieve? Do they want to buy something to have it for 5 years? Is it something that they're moving here and they're thinking long term because they're coming with a family? First, you got to look at the goal. What is their goal? What do they want to do with this? Is this just an investment for them to turn around in 2 to 3 years, 5 years? You know, if there's going to be something that they want to move their entire family because they're going to live here for that's it, they're leaving the country for good. So I think it also depends. And I think it's like every foreign investor, I think it's like every other investor. It just depends on their goal. What is their 5-year goal? What is their 3-year goal? You know, what do they plan to do? Like, obviously nobody knows the future, because right now you could say, oh, I want to move here and I'm only going to live here for 5 years, and then something happens and you're there for 10 or for 2. But you got to kind of guide them as to the area. They're not from here. They don't know how this works. It's completely different from their country. So it depends on who your investor is, where they're coming from, and what their goal is, to know which way to steer them.
My feeling that I spend a lot of time talking with them these days, asking for the families and everything. My feeling is about they're waiting for the moment, but they're ready because they trust to the dollar, the American money. I mean, right. They trust that. And my feeling is good. I mean, I have a good feeling about that.
Yeah, listen, the foreign investors is not like, they have a completely different program than the people from here. You don't hear people go FHA, conventional. The foreign investor that comes here, most of them have money. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't, like, if they come here, I wouldn't, like, I've seen some foreign investors that they come here and they want to buy something cash, which that's great.
I want to chime in.
If you have the cash to put in 300,000 or 400,000 in cash or 500,000 in cash, why buy one?
No, hold on. I do want to chime in. I want Tony to unmute himself, because he just made a comment on the chat where he says there's no money available for foreign investors right now.
That's
no
true.
one's lending to foreigners.
That's very true. A lot of people are not lending to foreigners, and I actually know a lot of private investors and hard monies that aren't lending right now either.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tony, come on in.
Come on in, Tony. Talk to us.
Tell us what you know.
He's chatting and then he doesn't talk.
Because he likes to type.
Well, it's the same that the mortgage that they are based in bank statements, they are a little bit like very difficult right now.
There Tony he is. Well, I heard that bank statement loans, some people some lenders put a hold on those non-QM loans as well. Some lenders, not all of them, but some lenders do have a hold and are not lending non-QM loans.
And
not everybody.
I'm hearing too that they're not lending more than a certain amount either. More than 500K, it's on hold right now.
Yeah, and the secondary market is not. They're kind of like, I don't know if it's still, but from what I heard last week, the secondary market was closed. So if you don't service your loans, you'd have to sell them off. But that I'm not in the mortgage industry right now, so I don't want to touch on that, because I don't want anybody to quote me on that, because this is what I heard last week, but what happened last week to this week could be completely something different.
Everything's changing in mortgages from week to week.
So Tony, talk to us.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, guys, but I was actually doing some gardening while I'm listening to you. That's what I was chatting. But yeah, it's interesting that there's no money available for foreigners, at least to lend. And I'm seeing some cases with clients that they took out mortgages to buy investment properties. These are private money that they have like 6 months or a year to give back, to pay the loan. And the idea was to refinance in the middle. And that's where we're having issues, because there's no money available for foreign investors. Now, the ones that are coming in with cash, they're going to have a really fun time when all this happens, in my opinion. But there's
anybody coming in with cash right now is going to have a blast.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But
what I do, what you were saying is
they're going to be having fun.
Yeah, exactly. What I do with the cash investors was leverage with the mortgages. So instead of selling one property for 5,000, you can sell 4 for 3,000. You're getting mortgages and getting loans. But that's not going to happen, so that's bad for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, again, we don't really know what's going to happen because maybe you never know. Maybe we get out of this. Maybe we get hey, maybe they find a vaccine before the 30th and maybe everything kind of goes back to somewhat of a normalcy, like the swine flu. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the swine flu. It was during an election year too. I don't remember that at all.
Me neither.
And honestly, I know this is a worldwide pandemic going on, way more than the swine flu, obviously. But I think the media has totally like gone crazy and kind of like, and I think everybody went into a panic and I blame the media and they did the same thing back in 2008. The housing crisis hadn't even gone here and they kind of like pressed a fast forward button. I feel like the media sent a crash into freaking overdrive because of all the crap that we're talking and all the negative stuff, and they just love to put fear because I guess it gives them ratings, you know. I don't know what the deal with the media is, but I think, you know, yeah, the coronavirus is a pandemic, it's a serious thing, blah blah blah. Hopefully they get it under control, and if they get it under control fast enough, then I think maybe lending can go back to some kind of normalcy, you know what I mean? And maybe foreigners can remember right now, this is not a housing market crisis, what we're going through. This has nothing to do with real estate. And this is nothing like 2008 either, because everyone who has bought and has gotten financing has actually qualified. There hasn't been, 80-20s like back in the day, 100% financing, negative amortization loans, where people would buy an $800,000 house and pay $1,500 a month, you know, and everything was going negative. You know, it's not that kind of, that's not what we're going through right now. Everyone who's bought has qualified, has shown documentation. Even the bank statement loan people that are QM, they've had to come in with down payments. You know, when I was doing mortgages back in the, what I call it the Wild Wild West, it was, now that I think back, when I was doing it, it wasn't like so crazy. But now when I think back, what we were doing and the loans we were giving is mad. It's crazy. You had Publix managers buying $800,000 houses with $1,500 payments because they were in a negative amortization pick-up pay, how they used to call it back then. People were getting 100% financing. People were coming in with no money. So you could buy anything for like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. I used to do my own loans. And when I was buying properties, I was getting money back at closing instead of putting money in. So imagine, I mean, it was crazy what we were doing back then. It's nothing like that now. So I don't think we're going to suffer. If this does become a housing market at some point, I don't think it's going to be the loans. I mean, people can pay, people qualify. Obviously, they need their jobs to pay that. But I mean, I think we're going to get through this, and I think we're going to get through this just fine. This is me being positive, guys. I don't think
being positive
going to last as long as a year or 8 months. I don't think it's going to go that deep. I think maybe we'll be out of this by June. It's going to take a while for everybody to get kind of back to normal. I think we're going to have a bunch of germaphobes. And then little by little, things will go back to normal. It's just like 9/11.
Now, Caesar is writing, and he put, it's not a house crisis, but all these people that are missing their jobs or behind payments will affect the house market. Right.
That's why I tell people it's not a housing crisis right now.
Yeah.
But it can become a housing crisis if we go through this long term. And that's what I tell people. It's not a housing crisis right now. If we get out of this with the next couple of months, we'll be fine. Now, if we go into this 8 months down the line, 9 months down the line, it will become a housing crisis because, like I said earlier, if you don't have a job, you can't buy. If you don't have a job, you can't pay your mortgage. And if you're renting and you don't have a job and you can't pay your rent and your landlord can't pay the mortgage, you know, it's a domino effect. It's a snowball effect. So yeah, it's not a housing crisis because, you know, the mortgage people are not going to get crucified like last time and get blamed for everything. But it can become a housing market crisis. Hopefully, like I said, we won't get to that. I'm hopeful, especially from what I heard I didn't hear it in the media. That's a lie. I haven't watched TV like in 4 days. They told me. that the numbers were looking good as far as the virus is concerned. And I think it just looks worse than what it is because we're actually testing people. But I'm confident that our government and everything will fix this, and hopefully we'll get out of this in one piece.
I agree. Well, this was amazing. Does anybody else have anything to chime in and say? I think this was an amazing talk. It's something that we had not been discussing. Everybody's just pretty much going with, you know, the process of closing now or what the lenders have to say. So I think hearing from somebody who's had experience from the 2008 and how you're going about your day and how you're preparing and how you're doing your things and your mindset, I think this was an amazing topic to do.
And don't get me wrong, guys, like we all have our days, because
Yeah.
I've been talking to a lot of people because I'm making a lot of phone calls, and we all have our days. And let me tell you, there's sometimes I've talked to some people that I don't even want to talk to them again because it's just like Debbie Downer. It's like, oh my God. So maybe they were having a bad day. So let's just be there for each other. If we're having a bad day, call somebody. You know, we're human. At the end of the day, we don't wake up motivated every day and positive every day. And what we're going through can take a toll on all of us. So just surround yourself with positive people, not negative people. Be realistic. Don't live in denial. But be productive.
Be productive and not just busy.
And not just busy. Be
Like
productive.
Tony's actually gardening right now, right? And if anybody knows, you know, me, I garden all the time. Like I love my plants, right? But that's not something that I was used to doing, you know, on a Tuesday at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's so weird. I can't do like, there's certain things I can't do during working hours. I feel like this guilt that I'm not, you know, doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I tell people there's always something to do.
Yeah.
There's always something to do. So find something to do, make it productive. The new thing I've been doing since I'm kind of off, like I'm really missing the gym. Like you have no idea. The working out at home sucks. I hate it. So I've been a little bit off lately. So I started doing this yesterday. I literally printed out like my week calendar and with little time slots, and I'm trying to schedule everything. Okay, like everything, like take a shower, like everything, to see if I can follow and get like
to Andy Rose, as I see.
yeah, because I'm trying to, like, my habits have been thrown off completely.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see if I can, okay, let me write everything down on the calendar, which I live by my calendar, but obviously I don't write every single little thing down, like eat or shower, you know what I mean? But since I'm off, I'm literally trying to write everything down, and I'm trying to go off the checklist. Like, okay, check emails from this time to this time. From this time to this time, if I'm done checking emails, you need to move on to the next thing. Because checking emails is busy work. It's not productive work. So, but you have to do it. So, you know, like I'm trying to schedule myself and go down the list. I don't know. I'm trying all sorts of things to stay productive.
No, but that's great. Again, Jen, thank you so much for today. I always like having you as one of my guest speakers. I think it puts everybody back to work. You literally whip everybody back to shape. Like, all right, guys, but are you really being productive or just busy?
Yeah, I know. I'm a realist. I'm known for not having a filter.
Yes.
Because I say it how it is.
Yes.
My sugarcoating skills are not great. So sometimes I'm not gonna lie, it comes out wrong. But yeah, if you guys ever need to talk to anyone or need anything or anything at all, just give me a call. The other day I had to help one of my realtors with a closing in another title company. I don't mind. I know some of you call me for stuff. I don't mind. Call me. You know, I'm bored too. I don't mind talking. So anything you guys need, I'm here for you guys. So let's be productive, chin up, and we got this, baby.
Yes. Now I'm writing in the chat right now your information for anybody who might need it. I mean, you're one of the most knowledgeable in my world. You're one of the most knowledgeable out there in our industry. So I do want to share your information. And again, thank you so much for participating with me on this today.
Thanks for having me, and stay tuned. I'm going to have a training next week. I'm going to do a little plug. we have this new thing. It has nothing to do with virtual buyers or Zoom or nothing like that.
What
But
are you
it's a
doing?
training because we have this new thing going out, and you can do closing costs, create seller net sheets. It comes out really cute with your picture on it. You can do multiple offer seller net sheets. It's actually pretty cool because when you are talking to a buyer or a seller, you can actually do the numbers right then and there. So stay tuned. I'm going to be having that next week.
I
So
love
you're
it.
all
Please
invited.
share it with me so that I can put it on my website because
Yes, I'll send it to you once I get the details done.
yeah, because for the chats, I'm pretty much just sending everybody to the link on my site because it just became very overwhelming with all the Zoom.
Yeah, I saw you did that website. That looks good.
Thank you, thank you.
Looks good. Love my Andreina.
I've been productive.
You have, girl. You have. I'm so proud of you.
All right, guys, thank you so much, and I'll be doing this again on Thursday.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.
Bye bye. Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye.